Hello, everyone. My name is Julie Johnston. I'm with Julie J Travel. I craft inspired experiences for active aging travelers, busy professionals, and groups seeking exhilarating vacations that envelop you in luxury. With my deep destination knowledge and access to top guides and creative spark, I'll ensure that you're immersed in the cultures and the landscapes that you travel to, with a little bit of relaxation mixed in. So welcome today to my Who's Cooking with Julie J Travel. We are live today in destination Morocco, and more specifically, Marrakesh. We are going to be, today we were supposed to be joined by one of my preferred Virtuoso travel partners, Alizés Private, with Kareem El Fayri El Fassi. He was unable to make it at the last moment. So I will be taking over his travel presentation after we have a short little video taking us to the destination. Then we will have a live cooking demonstration. And then we will go ahead and do a little bit of travel to Morocco. So I just wanted to introduce our guest chef today. And I'm going to go ahead and put a spotlight on them. Today we have Chef Dada, and her name is Habibi, and she will be preparing chicken tagine with caramelized apricots, which sounds absolutely amazing. A little bit about our chef today. She's one of the pillars at the cooking workshop at La Maison El Rab. And that property is a luxury property. She's been there for 10 years, but she's been in the cooking culinary scene for 30 some years. She learned the art of Moroccan cuisine from her mother and her grandmother. She loves to share her authentic and creative secrets with her students. She is spreading her love for Moroccan food to all corners of the world. Moroccan cuisine is the culinary star of North Africa. Imperial and trade influence is filtered and blended into the Moroccan culture. The know-how of the ingredients have been transferred from mothers to daughters. And you have to know that the eye is the important thing here, as far as the eye is your judge and your measuring tool. It's all about the eye. They don't use cookbooks and no precise dosing, which explains when I first received the recipe, there were no measurements in it, because it's all about how you, the chef, imagine your creation, and it allows you to be creative and unique. So I'm going to start right now with a short little video that comes to us from Morocco Tourism Board to get us excited about the destination we're going to today. So I'm going to share my screen. And now I would like to introduce Hesna
Hello, everyone.
and our chef today, and she's going to explain what chef actually means over in Morocco. So we're going to let her take it away.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to host you from our virtual kitchen from La Maison Arabe. And I'm also happy to introduce our star today, Dada Habiba. Dada in Moroccan Arabic, it means the Moroccan woman chef. She is a traditional chef who was trained by her mother and her grandmother, and she has a whole heritage of cooking with her, and she's very resourceful. She's going to show us one of her best dishes that she makes only for special guests like you today. Okay, to tell you a little bit about the place here, we are hosting you from Marrakesh, Morocco, North Africa, and specifically from La Maison Arabe, which started as the first Moroccan restaurant in Marrakesh and in Morocco. It started in 1946 by two French ladies coming from Paris. They came here, the mother and her daughter, to Marrakesh to live here because the mother had some health issues. She was looking everywhere for a place where she can find the dry weather for health problems, and Marrakesh was the best place for her. So they came here and they faced a financial crisis, and they thought to start a business, and the best way to improve their living conditions in Morocco, they started a small restaurant which they called La Maison Arabe. So the family is called in Paris Sibillon La Rochette. La Rochette, which was a family in the 40s in Paris who ran restaurants there. So they want to make the same business in Morocco. They started what we call now La Maison Arabe. The problem they faced at the time, they couldn't find a chef who could work for them. Do you know why? Morocco was like a patriarchal society. Women weren't allowed to work outside of their homes. So men is supposed to work in public, but women was kept at home. So she has all of the knowledge of cooking. But we have what we call the Dada, who is a very well respected woman in families, in Moroccan families. And the commander of Marrakesh at that time provided the two French ladies with a Dada who can work in the kitchen of the restaurant. So in a very short time, the restaurant started to be a must-to-go restaurant in Morocco. So it started in 1946. Many famous people come here to eat, used to come here like Winston Churchill, like D.H. Lawrence, my favorite writer. And the restaurant, after the French lady got retired, the ownership was bought by a French-Italian prince from Italy. He bought the property, and he started also, he bought a joint riads. Riyadh is a very big house. We call it Riyadh in Moroccan Arabic, which means paradise, because in our local house, we call them riads. Outside, you see no ornament, no beauty from outside, but once you get in, it's like a little paradise, because the space, the design, the architecture is really beautiful, as you saw from the videos with Julie. So he bought riads next to the restaurant, and he founded the first Moroccan riad hotel with the restaurant. And later on, the Moroccan riad hotel, La Maison Arabe, and the restaurant decided, to be also a cooking school, because we hosted many guests from all over the world, and they loved the food here, and they couldn't find a place where to learn Moroccan cooking and Moroccan dishes. So the owner at that time initiated to have small cooking workshops where we have the Dada cooking with the guests and showing them her recipes. And from that time on, which started in 1999, Now we have the cooking school, the Riyadh, and the restaurant, the Moroccan restaurant, which is still operating now, along with the international restaurant. And this Moroccan cooking school is also the first Moroccan cooking school in Africa. So we hired many dadas who are here with a very big smile, sharing their cultural cooking with everyone from all over the world. We are very honored to have Dada Habiba today, who is going to show us how to make chicken tagine with caramelized apricots. And this dish, as I told you, she prepares for her special guests, and something for us Moroccans we prepare when we have wedding celebrations. When we are celebrating something, we make this delicious, tasty dish. Dada Habiba, I'm gonna give you more details about the cuisine while cooking our dish. Dada Habiba is gonna show you all of the ingredients she will be using for making the chicken tagine with caramelized apricots. So for her spices, Dada loves to use these combinations of spices. Spices combinations, ingredients combinations are like chemistry. The right combination can make you a very magical dish. So Dada prefers to cook sweet savory dishes. We have this unique, mix of flavors. What is sweet, what is savory in Morocco. And whenever she wants to make that, she uses salt, she uses turmeric. I'm gonna ask Julie to allow me to share the screen so we can show you all of the spices.
You're all set there.
Excellent. So our beloved guests, we have the turmeric, we have salt, we have ground ginger, we have pepper, we have cinnamon, ground cinnamon, and we have a special Moroccan spice that is not only one spice, but it is a mixture of spices, a blend of spices. It's a mixture of 20 to 40 spices all mixed together. Every Moroccan family, every dada, every spice shop in Morocco has their own secret blend for making what we call the Ras El Hanout. Ras El Hanout in English is head of the shop, like the literal translation of it. But what it means is the best blend of spices you can come across. So we call this Ras El Hanout. And it's a lot used to make sweet savory dishes. And because you are special today, Dada is gonna cook you this dish with saffron, pure saffron, the world's most expensive spice. We get it from the south of Morocco, a place we call Telouine. Telouine is a small village protected by the UNESCO, and it is the second largest place in the world that produces pure saffron. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about saffron later to know the real saffron, good quality saffron from fake saffron. So to make sure when you want to cook, you find the right spice and the pure one. And of course, along with the spices, we use a piece of onion and we use a bunch of parsley and cilantro. So for the parsley and the cilantro, we're gonna use them to cook with, but we're not gonna eat. We're gonna cook with that. And when it comes, to the finishing point, we're gonna throw it away. We want just to extract the flavor of it. And it's the same thing for cinnamon. So cinnamon, we're gonna use it whole and we're gonna use it as a powder because the powder gives you one flavor and the cinnamon gives you another different flavor. So there is a lot to discover about cooking today with our chef. And we are gonna use apricots at home. You can use any dried fruits you have. It doesn't have to be this specific. But Dada all the time tells me apricots goes along with chicken. It's the best combination. So, and she's gonna use a little cinnamon to cook the apricots with. And we have butter. We're gonna cook the chicken with butter and we're gonna caramelize the apricots with butter as well. And we have chicken. You can use any type, any part, of the chicken you have. You can use, chicken thighs, chicken breast, whatever you have available. The best oil to cook with a tagine here in Morocco, we use a blend, a mixture of sunflower oil and olive oil. So you make it half olive oil, half sunflower oil. And you need this Moroccan pot, what we call a tagine. This is a Berber pot, very ancient to Morocco. It's introduced by the Berbers, the first inhabitants of Morocco. And to cook in this tagine, you always need to have a metal diffuser, a metal plate. So the tagine does not go directly on the heat, otherwise it cracks. So better provide a metal diffuser underneath, then you put the tagine on top of it.
Asna,
Yes, Julie?
we have one question. It says, is there a substitute for Ras El Hanout that they can use?
Ras el hanout you can use instead of it the Indian curry.
Indian curry. Okay, thank you.
You are welcome, Julie. So if you are ready, we are gonna see with our chef how to prepare the tagine. So first turn on the stove. Dada is gonna slice the onion into thin slices. If you would like to cook the Moroccan way, in a tagine pot, you don't have to start by frying onion, then you add the rest of the ingredients. If you do that in a tagine pot, it's gonna take you forever. So the proper way, you make a sauce directly in the tagine. So you first put onions. We are making now what we call sharmoula. Sharmoula is a marinade that we are gonna use to cook chicken with. Then they take the bunch of the parsley and the cilantro and the little cinnamon. She rinses them and she puts them in the tagine. And now Dada is gonna add a whole wooden spoon of the mixture of oils. So our wooden spoons equal 2 tablespoons of the ones you have. And you have the recipe with the exact scales. And Dada is gonna pour her water. And for the spices, Dada is gonna add a 1/4 spoon pepper, a flat spoon ginger. You make it leveled. Too much ginger will make the sauce taste all like ginger. So you add just a flat teaspoon of the ginger. And you add turmeric. For turmeric, be generous. It's a heaping spoon turmeric. It's very good for you, for your bones, for your joints. It's anti-inflammatory. And you add salt as you like. If you like it salty, you can add more than that. The Moroccan cuisine is not salty. It's not spicy. You keep the flavor of the rest of the ingredients by not abusing the salt. We add ras el hanout, the blend of spices. If you have the Indian curry, you can add 1/4 teaspoon of the ras el hanout. And you add cinnamon. We add rba, that is say rba in Arabic, which means 1/4 spoon cinnamon. And now that is gonna mix the sharmoula, the marinade. And now we're gonna take the chicken out of the plastic and put it in the tagine. We're gonna put the chicken directly in the tagine. You can see that once she puts the chicken in the sauce, she turns it over. So she makes sure to coat it with the sauce. And she adds a teaspoon of butter. Everything tastes so good with the butter, believe me. And saffron. Saffron gives you a really nice aroma and a really nice color. So that I put a little pinch. Don't overuse saffron. This is something that is very important. It's science, you know. If you overuse saffron, if you use too much of it, it upsets the stomach. So if you have saffron, you use just a little pinch. And the right way to add saffron to food, the best way that adds her saffron to her dishes, she either crushes the saffron with fine salt, then add a little pinch of this mixture, or she soaks the saffron in water, then she adds the water as a broth. And if you have a tagine pot like this one we are using, you don't have to completely cover it. The reason why the bottom tagine is not deep. If you completely cover it, the sauce while boiling is gonna boil over. So what we do, we slightly cover the tagine like that and leave it to breathe, okay? If you have something that you would like to use instead of a tagine, you can always replace a tagine with cast iron, le creuset, or a Dutch oven. So these three things would be a good replacement for tagine. It should be a slow mode of cooking. This is what is important about it.
Esna,
Yes, Julie.
if you're using those three that you just described, which most probably would be, do you then put a top on that completely, or do you still leave air?
No, you don't have to partially cover it. Le creuset is deep. Cast iron is deep. So you
But would you fully cover it, the lid
Yes,
on that type
yes.
of pot?
Exactly, you completely cover it. It's not a problem with le creuset or cast iron. You just put the lid as you usually do while cooking something you usually do.
Okay, and we had a question. They wanted to know, is the tagine glazed?
So for the different types of tagines that we have, in case you want to purchase that, it's on Amazon. Everything is on Amazon now. So there are three types of tagines. There is the glazed tagine, the unglazed tagine, and the decorative tagine. The difference is that if you use the one that is all unglazed, this one, if you use it for the first time to cook chicken with that, you keep it all the time to cook chicken because it takes the smell of the thing you cook in it. If
Perfect.
you have,
We had one other question.
let me, Julie, excuse me, I just would like to finish the difference between the different types.
Oh,
So
sorry.
when it comes, thank you. When it comes to the glazed one, the glazed tagine, you can use it to cook anything with that. It's like using a regular pot. It doesn't keep the smell. Wash it with water and soap and the smell is gone. Don't cook in the decorative tagines. We have decorative tagines. These we use only for presentation. So glazed, you keep it for one ingredient, chicken, beef, or lamb. The older you have it in the kitchen to cook, for example, lamb, the tastier the lamb turns. Glazed tagine, it's not a problem. You can use it to cook anything with it. The decorative one is only used for presentation. Is it clear, Julie?
Yes, thank you. Another question was that someone missed it. Was there water added, which I believe I did see water added.
Sure.
So how much water?
So we have this glass, a measuring glass. If you have this, you add 100 grams. Pastry flour or farine, it's in French here. You can add 100 grams or 100 grams semolina. You half cover the chicken with water. And whenever you need more water, you add. When you find the chicken starts cooking, make sure you have a thick sauce. Don't keep adding water. Once it cooks, you reduce the sauce until it becomes thick, then you turn off the heat.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Julie. Well, Dada has rinsed the apricots, the dried apricots, and the little cinnamon. And now she's gonna cover them with water and she's gonna boil the apricots. I'm gonna give you a few ideas to be creative with this dish. So you can make this dish with lamb. You can also make it with beef. The only thing that changes is the duration of cooking. So if you are making this dish with lamb, for example, lamb takes you usually longer. So cooking chicken takes you half an hour to 45 minutes. Lamb takes you 2 hours if you would like the Moroccan way of cooking lamb, which until it turns soft. Beef, it takes you between 1 hour and a half to 2 hours maximum. For the dried fruits, what goes with lamb is the prunes, black prunes, dried black prunes. So instead of using apricots with lamb, they use prunes. And it's the same way of cooking. You just take your prunes, wash them, put them in water, put a few cinnamon sticks, and let them to boil until they become soft. You are gonna see with the Dada. If it is beef, better find figs, dried figs. Believe me, it tastes so good with the figs, especially in winter times. It heats the body, it warms you up. So beef goes with dried figs, lamb goes with prunes, dried prunes, and chicken, of course, with apricots. Is it clear?
Yes. The beef sounds delicious with the would you say dried figs?
Yeah, beef with dried figs is.
Yeah, sounds delicious.
It does. Since you are our special guests today, and we are very happy to host you from the US, Julie? Yeah?
Yes, I'm in the US and I'm located in Vermont.
Excellent. When we have a special guest, we make them the royal tagine. It's the chicken with apricots, and we make them also the royal tea. We're gonna show you here how to make the Moroccan saffron tea, which is a welcoming drink, especially at celebrations. When you have a special celebration, you welcome your guests by making them saffron tea.
This is a wonderful surprise. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Julie. We're very happy to have you today.
And if you could, I know it's not in your culture to do so, but most folks would probably want to know portion sizes if you can share.
Okay, I will try. So for the ingredients, first you need a Moroccan metal pot. Don't use silver ones. Once you put it on the heat, it melts. This is our holder, teapot holder. We call him the tea master. Can you see the little man? You need tea glasses. I'll explain why we use tea glasses, not ceramic mugs. Tea is very unique to Morocco, very special to us. The way you serve it, it should be, you know, in a good way. You need gunpowder tea. It's a special Chinese green tea. Look for a roasted Chinese green tea. You need saffron, the stamens or the pistils, the threads of saffron. You need lots of sugar. Our sugar, you're gonna, maybe if you come to Morocco, you're gonna be very surprised because our tea is very sweet and all the time is served to you sweet. And it has a historical reason why it is served very sweet. Sugar was very expensive in ancient times. It was a privilege to have. And when we have a guest, to welcome them properly, you should make it very sweet. It means you are serving them like what you have in your dining tables, champagne or something fancy to serve. Dada is gonna show you how to make it step by step. And to make the tea for the guest, it's not anyone that can just jump and make the tea. No, it's the most important person in the family who makes the tea. Usually the oldest person in the family or the most important one. So Dada is the boss of the class. She's the most important person here. Dada is gonna show you how to make the tea today. And to make it, you don't make it in the kitchen. You make it for the guests in the sitting room, like a ceremony, like a Chinese ceremony, Japanese ceremony. So Dada is gonna make it now. Yalla Dada. Okay, chefs. The first step you need to make, you add the tea to the teapot, you add a glass of hot water. The right amount of the tea, when you are planning to do it, the amount should be a half teaspoon per person of the tea. Okay, half teaspoon per person. You add the glass of hot water to it, you let it to steep just for a minute, and we steep it to extract all the caffeine from the Chinese green tea. If you drink this by itself, you will stay awake the whole night. If you put it away, you'll make it like decaffeine. You add another glass of hot water, and this is to rinse the gunpowder tea, the roasted tea. There is little bitterness to roasted tea. So we wash the tea leaves to make sure it gets rid of all the bitterness of it. You can see the muddy glass. We always tease the mother-in-law. This is something we give to the mother-in-law. And this is something you keep. Fill your teapot with water or until you have enough for everybody. Then put your teapot on the heat. Don't leave it for too long, otherwise you're gonna ruin the flavor. So we never boil the tea. It should reach just some degree, then we turn off the heat. We basically heat the teapot for keeping the tea warm for longer. Dada is telling me it's time to check on the chicken. Hello, chicken. Smells so nice. Are you having fun in our kitchen?
Definitely. And I know that you said that tea could be used for mother-in-laws, but I think it'd be great for father-in-laws too.
It depends. Dada is gonna add sugar.
And Hesna, I don't know if you mentioned it. How long do you actually leave the pot on with the tea?
with the tea for like a minute. No more, like a minute or two maximum.
Okay, thank you.
Once you see the tea leaves coming up, the water floating, you should turn off the heat. You can see it's like there is a foam on top. And now we're gonna add the saffron. A little pinch of the saffron, the red gold, and sugar. So we put in the sugar. Do you know the reason why we put tea from high? It's to oxygenate the tea. This enhances the flavor of the tea. Not only that, the higher you take it, the more the guest is respectful, is welcome. So it's like a show, it's like an art. I call it art of tea making, not only tea. It's a whole ritual, a whole ceremony, a whole show. Whenever you go to a shop in the souk, or you go to someone's house, or you go to a riyad, they are always offering you mint tea, some Moroccan pastries. People here are very generous. They are very welcoming, and they are very protective of their guests. It's like part of our cultural hospitality. We make you feel just like home. Shukran, Dada. And we say in Morocco, Basaha. Basaha is cheers in Arabic, or to your health. Bismillah. Really nice. We hope you can try this at home. You are gonna love it.
Well, it's snowing here today in Vermont, so it's the perfect day for a nice hot tea.
Yes. And saffron tea is amazing for cold weather. It's really good. It's very good for joints. It's very good for skin. It's very good for back pain. But don't overuse it. Don't use too much. Too much would upset your stomach. So whenever you would like to use a little pinch like this one. So just to tell you a little background about, the Moroccan cuisine. Is it your first time, watching a Moroccan, a cooking show, or Moroccan, making Moroccan dish?
Yes, it is for me. And I'm enjoying it thoroughly. I love seeing all the colorful spices. And I love apricots, so I can't wait to try this dish out.
They're very delicious, and we have the best spices in all over Morocco. Marrakesh is the best place. It's the best place to cook in because the spices stay fresh because of the dry weather. Dada is adding some butter. نص معلقة. Dada is saying half a teaspoon, no more. So yeah, Dada Habiba, by the way, she's a Berber chef, a Berber woman. And the Berbers are the first inhabitants of Morocco. And they are very proud of their heritage, cultural heritage. And they are very generous when you visit. And the Moroccan cuisine, when you look at it, it's not only one independent cuisine. The Moroccan cuisine is a cuisine that is a fusion of too many different cuisines. Moroccan cuisine is a cuisine that is Berber, Arab, Jewish. We always live with the Jews in peace, and we share from each other. There is no question about religion. Everybody can pray to anything, to God, even to a stone. Everybody is respectful here, despite their religious background. We shared from each other. We lived next to each other. The Moroccan cuisine is also French, which is recent. This dish is very ancient to Morocco. It's introduced by the Berber cuisine. The Berbers makes lots of tagines. There is the royal tagine. It's made along with caramelized fruits. There is fish tagine with sharmoula, with a marinade. You find this in Tangier, in Safi, in Essaouira, Agadir, Rabat. These are coastal cities where you find fresh fish. There is the Berber tagine. The Berber tagine is a vegetable tagine. You find Moroccans living in the mountains, making it a lot with vegetables. Actually, meat is still a privilege to some here, so they make lots of Berber tagines in these areas. There is chicken tagine with preserved lemon and olives. It's very popular here, and it's very tasty. The Berbers introduced also what we call couscous, and our couscous is really special and nice. It's not the 5 minutes couscous, instant one. Pour water, then serve. If you make this to a Moroccan, it's gonna be a disaster. I'm sharing this with you. If you have a Moroccan guest, don't make them instant couscous. Come to teach you proper couscous. Look at our apricots. They are nice and caramelized. Very good, Dada, bravo. Couscous, Moroccan couscous. If you come to Morocco, you won't regret the experience of trying couscous here. Couscous takes us sometimes 2 hours to get it prepared. We can teach you how to make couscous as well.
That's like a good risotto. It takes quite a bit of time to do it right. We're getting some wonderful comments saying that that they are inspired today to actually get a tagine for themselves. And I said it'd be a great holiday gift. And another person said that their friend just got back from Morocco and said the food was the best ever. And someone else has been there and ate many tagines, but never watched it to be cooked. So they're enjoying the show.
Great. And you can make a Moroccan dinner for Christmas. This will be a really unique dinner for guests, for family. Dada is saying the time of cooking chicken is up. So our chicken is cooked. So something to share with you today. So Dada is going to take off the herbs and the little cinnamon. And so for the fruits, if you want to prepare them, you shouldn't cook them together with the meat. Otherwise, it will be too mushy for you. So cook them with water. And once you have them cooked, you add the sugar, you add some butter to caramelize them, like that. And you add the syrup. And sesame seeds as a garnish. Really nice.
So you eat it right out of the tagine?
So the Moroccan way of serving dishes, usually for families, I'm not talking here about restaurants because they serve you individual servings. So if you are the guest of a Moroccan family and they make you this dish, in our dining rooms, there is a round table, okay? There is a round table in the sitting room and we make a big tagine for everybody. And you don't serve it in individual dishes. No, you bring enough bread for everybody. You sit next to each other. So food always bring us close, bring us together. It's like it enhances family bonds. So you sit with each other and you eat. And at the same time, you chat with them and you talk about life, about, members' conditions. And this dish is eaten with Moroccan traditional bread. We call it khubz. So instead of using forks, Our tagines are eaten by hands, and you take a piece of bread, you dip it in the sauce, you take a little bit of chicken, and you eat. Our customs and traditions, I mean, when it comes to eating, you don't eat with the left hand, you eat with the right hand, and you don't put all of your fingers in the tagine. This is impolite. You take a piece of bread and you use the 3 fingers. Okay, you take a piece of bread and you dip your bread in the sauce, you take a little bit of the chicken, then you eat. For couscous, it's eaten by spoons. Okay, couscous, we have 2 types of couscous. There is couscous tfaya, which is couscous with caramelized onion and raisins. It is also a sweet savory dish. And there is couscous with 7 vegetables. I'm very happy to share recipes with you. I can email Julie with these recipes, then she can forward them to you to try at home. I can do that. So for couscous with 7 vegetables, it's very popular here. We call it couscous with 7 vegetables because the lady who is in charge of cooking at home, she preserves a vegetable from each day of the week she cooks. So if she is making something with zucchini, she keeps 1 zucchini for Friday, because Friday is the day we make couscous. If you are making something with carrots, you keep 1 carrot for Friday until you collect 7 vegetables for couscous. Then you make it couscous with 7 vegetables, which is made with zucchini, eggplants, pumpkin, chickpeas, I mean, with a selection of vegetables that you have.
It sounds delicious. I love couscous. We would love to have a copy of the recipe.
Yeah, so couscous is also a Berber dish. It's something very nice. And by the way, whenever you make couscous in Morocco, you don't make it only for your family. You make it also for somebody you know who is in need. So it's part of our Moroccan traditions that on this holiday, which is Friday, you make couscous for lunch. If you know somebody who is living in the neighborhood, you make the same lunch for them. So it is something that is meant to be shared.
Nice. We do have 2 questions. Someone was wondering what the last spice was that she had put in.
Cinnamon powder.
Oh, the cinnamon that was in with the apricots?
With the apricots. So for the apricots, it's the cinnamon stick. So you boil the apricots just with water and a little cinnamon. And when you have it cooked, you add sugar, enough sugar to make it sweet. And you add butter, just regular butter you use for bread. And you do this until the water reduces. So when you put the butter, the sugar and the butter will make it caramelize.
Perfect. We have one other question. How big is that tagine?
So this is a tagine for 2 people. And there are big ones. I mean, you can have a tagine for like 16 people here.
Do you know if when you're buying them, that's how they present them as far as marketing as to how many people they would feed?
I think they put you how many servings, I think. Because when we buy, you ask the seller that I would like to buy a tagine for 4 people, for example. Because there is the smaller than this one for 1 person. There is for 2, for 4, for 6, you know, and you go on until like 16 people. And you can use the same stove to cook it. Don't worry about, I mean, how huge the stove should be.
Nice. That sounds wonderful. That's great. Any other questions for them? I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, Kareem was unable to join us at the last moment. And so I have a presentation that he forwarded to me. So I would love to show you all the presentation. I won't be able to really speak to a lot of the locations because I haven't been to Morocco yet. I'm excited about going, and I might have a possibility myself to go soon. So I'm excited about that, but I wanted to share it with you. And so I just need you, Hesna, to stop sharing your screen, and then I'll go ahead and share the presentation. Everybody's saying they loved it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Habiba, wonderful job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It looks
Shukran,
delicious.
everyone. Thank you.
And I
Have a nice
love
day.
the show and the presentation of the tea and the high pouring.
Thank you
It
so
is
much.
an art. It is an
I'd
art.
like to hear your positive feedback later. Thank you so much, Julie.
Yes, and I will, I always create a recording, a video for everybody. So I'll forward that to you as well once we're done with the show. I send it out within a couple days.
Thank you so much, Julie.
No problem. Trying to share the screen. Okay, here we go. So this is my preferred Virtuoso travel partner, Alizés Private. And he is all about emotional experiences, which I love because I love to sprinkle experiences and activities and tours on everybody's trips that I create with my partners. And so I can't wait to join with him for a Moroccan experience. And so I will go ahead and get it started here. Here's his information. And here he is. Here. He's a co-founder and managing director at Alizés Private, the first Virtuoso on-site DMC specialized in tailor-made emotional experience in Morocco. I had met him actually at a Virtuoso travel conference, and he was making me so jealous because he was sitting there doing a Zoom with me. We were meeting up for about 10 minutes, and the backdrop was a sunset, and it was absolutely stunning. And he lives in Marrakesh, and you can go through me to coordinate with him a wonderful trip to Morocco. And these are just some of the processes. They're very detailed. Make sure they go over all the details and see everything through. We work together to have a seamless travel experience. They create a WhatsApp group that you get invited to so that you can know everything that's going on, track flights in and out. We can keep an eye on what's happening, and we can constantly stay in communication with you. These are some of the key people on his team that he works with. And these are just some of the experiences that you can have: wellness, cultural gardens, culinary experiences, which we're having today. At that resort itself, they have fabulous workshops, and you can go there for a 5-day culinary workshop. And as you can see, it's quite the setup there. So there's adventure, all sorts of different experiences. And here's just some of the emotional experiences I'll walk you through with the visuals. They'll take you around to the most Instagrammable sites if you're into social media. And then you go and you can have art lovers enjoy a full day experience. You'll meet exceptional painters and artists internationally known. You'll meet worldwide artist and writer Mahi Bine at his house for his workshop to discover exceptional paintings exhibited at the Guggenheim in New York City and other places. Great opportunity to buy exceptional piece of art. Have fabulous panoramic views. Go up top of the mosque on the rooftop. Discover Casablanca, giant city. The fashion, if you're into fashion and shopping, they've got fabulous shopping. Look at those shoes. I don't know if we get that crazy here in Vermont with our footwear, but they sure are exciting. Especially the ones with the pink there look like they'd be festive for holiday. You can have a massage and dress up and participate in a relaxing ceremonial with Moroccan pastries, fresh mint tea, live music. For horse lovers, I'm sure we have quite a few of those here in Vermont. Breakfast or lunch while enjoying an Arabian Thoroughbreds private show. You can also have a secret dinner. Look at the horses on the right and the left there. Dining in the royal stables. Now that is something I've never seen. Or a hot air balloon ride. The only flight in the world with seated gourmet breakfast on board. Wow. That's beautiful. I've done quite a few hot air balloon rides, but never with the breakfast on board. It was always the champagne breakfast afterwards. And then sunset camel ride. That looks very interesting. Private Moroccan dinner under royal tent, belly dancers, henna tattoo, fire eater, Arabian Thoroughbreds private show, optional. They definitely have thought of everything. Secret ride, discover the old Medina and Palm Grove on Second World War sidecar. My husband would definitely love that. A private visit of YSL private home with curator, the Oasis House, gardens, the Berber Museum. A buyout of the museum up to 25 guests. Old but gold. Go back in time and discover Marrakesh and its surroundings in exclusive vintage cars, just like you were in Cuba. Enjoy the street food dinner expedition. Discover the Moroccan spices and other products with local celebrity chef. Or you have a beach picnic. Tour the lagoon with bird watching, oyster farm visit, private barbecue seafood picnic in a private beach. Calgon, take me away now. I would love to be here today. Green Day in the Red City. For nature lovers, we invite you to discover 4 exceptional private gardens. Look at those mountains and all the color and the palm trees. Have an experience in the desert. Dining, just the 2 of you. Local connections, dinner at a Moroccan family's house to discover the traditional hospitality. Experience their culture. Storytelling, interaction with our lecturer and head writer over a Moroccan dinner. experience their rituals. And enjoy going on a wine road, discover the premium Moroccan wine through our wine road. Take a tour, stop off at the vineyards. Tailor-made discovery and exceptional vineyard combining 3 tasting stops. Oh, that's gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. If you're into photography, this is definitely the place. Ceramic workshops, interact with local artisans and create your own ceramic souvenir. Perfumes, you can stop in and learn how to do it yourself. The house fallen from the sky. Creative artwork. Adventure biking in the mountains. Private shopping. Jewish and Moroccan cooking classes. Berber cooking class. Act for Hope, give back to the community. We offer $50 per confirmed booking to Town Mountain Association, equal to a full year kindergarten year for kids. We kindly ask your clients' generosity to donate at their entire discretion. And here they are, his team. So that concludes our show for today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. It was wonderful having you here today. I want to thank our guests, Hasna and Dada Habiba, and thank you so much for the presentation. We're going to be having a show coming up in January, and I'm still working on the details, but it's looking like it might be in Milan. Date yet to be determined, so I'll keep you posted on that. But I will be taking the recording and sending out in the next couple days to everybody and follow up with the recipe as well. So thank you all for coming today. I'm Julie Johnston with Julie J Travel, and enjoy your holidays. Take care. Bye-bye.